All right, so Chucky episode 5, Little Little Lies, was just released. I just watched it. And I'm going to say straight up, I like this episode, but it is my least favorite episode out of all of the episodes so far, honestly. I don't think that this was definitely the best one. Um, this one I did like a lot of things about. I did like how it started with the flashback of Charles Lee Ray, but he has his signature long hair from the first Child's Play, but he's not completely that age yet. And he meets these two girls at a dance club, um, and he eventually, like later in the episode, because it keeps showing the flashback, but eventually he finds a girl that he like, a blonde girl and a red girl, and the blonde girl, um, Chucky kills, and he tries to kill the red girl, but she says, do it," and he doesn't do it, and then he kills the blonde, and then you realize that the red girl is a young Tiffany, which I thought was a really cool connection into bringing Tiffany into this series, because of course she's widely known throughout the franchise, but I think it makes sense to have her have to come into the show in a way that's not like, oh, she just appeared. Like, you got to have a reasoning for her in the show, and I felt like that worked. So I like that flashback with Charles Lee Ray. I think that this does a really good job with every episode showing him when he's a little kid, him growing older, and then right closer now to the Child's Play 1 era where he meets Tiffany, which we have not seen in the movies, which I think is a really cool thing that we haven't seen before. Um, I like that it starts out after the flashback where Caroline is alive, Lexi's sister. Um, she wants Chucky, and then her dad brings the burnt up Chucky, and then she doesn't want it, which I thought was great. And then the dad immediately just throws it in the dumpster, and then Chucky, or not in the dumpster, into the dump into the hospital where all the discarded needles are. So Chucky is in there, and he literally says, "What a life!" and he gets really amped up on steroid needles, and I thought that was pretty funny. It was just some kind of relief, like of humor, like because this is interesting with this series where it is for the most part serious, but of course you've got to add in the humorous elements because Chucky, whether you like it or not, is built on humor as well, like the Chucky series. And I do like whenever Chucky has those comedic moments. I thought that worked pretty well, where he gets doped up on all the damaged ones in the trash. Like, that was really funny. And I like how he escapes, and then you've got Devin and Jake having their relationship build more. And I thought that this was interesting because, again, we don't see much of this in TV shows. I know we're still trying to get more LGBT like representation in shows, but this I thought did a good job with the characters. I thought that they had charm to them. I thought whenever they kissed, it was funny because they both tripped on their bike because they were on bikes, and I thought that that made it feel like a real moment of if a person was kissing another person, it would be like they trip on that bike that they were holding. I thought that was actually a funny little character moment that I thought actually worked, and I was genuinely uh, kind of laughed because I thought that that was just a thing in real life that somebody would do if another person was kissing somebody while they're both on bikes. I thought that was pretty hilarious. Um, so I liked seeing the Devin and Jake relationship build up. Like, I think it does a good job of it, and they have they are together now, which I think is pretty cool. Um, I like a lot that Lexi's mom, who is the mayor of the city, is getting trashed in this episode. So it starts out with Lexi's mom treating Lexi like shit again. And I like the fact that Lexi and her dad rag on the mom, saying like, no, I'm saying like, oh, we're gonna have everybody pay for our house that was burned down, and the husband's like, you're gonna have them pay tax dollars for this, um, and she says, yeah, to please everybody, and then Lexi says no, to lie to people to get people's money, and I like that because I don't like in real life politicians that do this shit, and that's a lot of them, and it just pisses me off. And I think that that was a funny line. I thought that that was cool how the mom is just getting trashed because she is doing a shitty job. Um, I thought that was really hilarious. I liked how um, Chucky, there's another Chucky doll, but it's named Tommy, like Child's Play 2, which was very on the nose, but I liked it because, of course, in Child's Play 2, Chucky switches his doll with another doll with Tommy. Or no, he actually buries Tommy, but then he says his name's Tommy, Chucky, to Andy in Child's Play 2. So I guess this is slightly different, but it's very on the nose, like similar. And this show has been doing that. Not all the time. Like it's totally fine whenever it does it. It's not super annoying, but it does do it a good amount. I like that Lexi sees the new Chucky doll or the Tommy doll and immediately is like, just starts knocking it down, but it makes you look crazier in front of her parents, which I thought was funny. I liked how you get the junior character in this who you already got a scene in, I think it was the last episode of the episode before, where he's talking to his dad, Devin Sawa, without the beard. And his dad's talking to him about being part of this game, going to championships, and do you really want to do it? And he says that he wants to hear it. Like the dad says to Jake, like, I want you to say that you want to do this, like do this sport that I'm making you do. And I liked how in this episode it continues on with that, where Junior's dad says to Junior, like, you're gonna get into the championships. And Junior's like, what do you mean? I was in the hospital. Like, that's cheating. Like, that's not fair that I'm still going to be going to that. And I like that it just adds a little bit of character depth to this Junior character who hasn't had much in the show, honestly. Like, I think they're building that up because they did do a great job with first having Jake, then starting to have Lexi, then Devin, and now it's slowly easing into Junior being more of a main character than as he was before. So I like that and appreciate that. I like that Chucky sees that he's replaced, like burnt Chucky is replaced by good-looking Tommy, like doll, that's not burnt up. I thought that was funny. But it gives me a thing in the episode that annoys me, where this episode hinges on being a twist that I knew was gonna not be, like, it was like an obvious twist, like it was so obvious. And this honestly kind of annoys me, that the end of the episode is that Chucky, of course, switched or transferred his soul into the Tommy doll, the normal looking doll. So of course that's how that's how the episode ends, and I thought that twist was a twist that I knew immediately, like, because I've seen the other Chucky movies. But I understand why they put it in this, because if you're not familiar with the whole set of films, unlike me, then you would have been, like, surprised. But I was not, because I already know. That's not a terrible thing, but it's just, like, it's a twist that was so obvious that the episode ended on, and I was like, that made the episode the weakest episode for me. I also thought it was weird that you get a twist as well with Bree, who's Junior's mom, played by Alexa Doig, who has a secret, and in the first episode she didn't want to say it, like whenever Chucky was talking about it on stage. And the secret that Bree has is she has stage 4 cancer and she hasn't told anybody. And I thought that was a really weird, like, left turn. I was like, what? Okay, that's very, very out there. I thought that was very strange. I don't know where they're going to go with that, but we'll see. But it was just a weird twist. You know how I mentioned Chucky meets Tiffany and they kill that girl together in this Hackensack hotel? Well, it's now current day Hackensack Hotel, and Tiffany and Chucky, and as in Chucky Nika, because again, in Cult of Chucky, at the end of the movie, Chucky transfers his soul into Nika. So now Nika is Chucky. So this is hard to explain. So Chucky, Nika, and Tiffany are having sex, or just like rolling around in their underwear together. And they've got a guy tied up. They already killed a guy, and like they're doing the thing that they've done before, Chucky and Tiffany, even except for Chucky is now in Nika's body. And Chucky is being Chucky. And I thought this was really interesting because you bring back Jennifer Tilly, and I liked how extremely over the top she was. Like, it was honestly a little jarring in terms of the tone of the show when she started to speak and react. but it makes sense as Tiffany, this over-the-top zany character, to be like this. But it just was kind of off-putting because the tone of the show so far had some humor, but it's not like extremely over the top. And like the Tiffany stuff, which I love Jennifer Tilly and I liked her in this, it just seemed very like kind of jarring, not in a bad way, but like jarring as in tonally. It was kind of because they were trying to be so serious throughout. But again, the Chucky franchise is a mixture of horror and comedy, so you've got to blend those together. But it was kind of interesting. I thought it was funny that Tiffany and Chucky argue about food, and Chucky calls her fat and says, "Go get your food and get fat." Like, I thought that was funny. I like the fact that they still have those arguing quips like they do in Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky. I thought that was pretty hilarious. I liked how Nika Fiona Dorff really sounded like Chucky. Like she did in Cult of Chucky, but I felt like she did an even better job here. I thought she really sounded like her dad, Fiona Dorff. She sounded like Brad Dorff. That was pretty awesome. I thought it was very interesting that you get a twist, or not really a twist, but it's like a realization that it's only been 2 weeks since Cult of Chucky, and they moved to this hotel. Chucky and Tiffany did, and then you realize that Nika sort of gets out of the possession of Chucky. Like, she wakes up and she can't move because she's of course paralyzed, but whenever it's Chucky she can move. But she talks to the guy who's tied up, that they tied up earlier, and she says, "I'm not a killer, I'm not a killer. Chucky got me taken to a mental hospital because he killed my family." Like, I like seeing Nika as herself, and then immediately she comes back to Chucky. So I think that's going to be a plot device later where Nika's going to become herself. And she also tells the guy, like Chucky split his soul into pieces, and I was one of them. So I think that's fascinating that we're going to see with the multiple Chucky angle, like how they're going to go with that. Because I wonder if there's any more Chuckies. Because again, in Cult of Chucky, Andy had the original Chucky that was Seed of Chucky, like where it was just his head and he was burning it in his house. And then you've got the couple of Chuckies that were from Cult of Chucky, and then you've got Nika, and then you've got this Chucky from this series. So there's a lot of Chuckies going around. So I wonder how they're going to get all of them dead, like if they're really trying to get Chucky gone. Because these kids don't know anything about the movies before this. They don't know that there's multiple Chuckies. There were a couple that survived in Cult of Chucky, and it's interesting to see that they are using that, or going to keep using that as like a route and like a scapegoat for like Chucky to still survive because he split his soul. That makes it interesting, but I wonder how they're going to go about it. So I like that, and I thought it was interesting that it's only 2 weeks after Cult of Chucky. I thought that was hilarious that it's really not that far away in terms of the timeline. I like how, again, with the Junior character, he wasn't very much of a presence throughout so far, but again, they're gonna start, I think, in the next couple episodes, really bringing him into the main group of the kids. Because again, Lexi wasn't in the group either, and then she became part of it with Jake and Devin. But Lexi tells the truth to Junior about Chucky, and Junior doesn't understand or believe her, because of course, if you said there was a doll that was alive and killed people, he would believe you. But I thought that was interesting because I think in the next episode there's something that's going to have Junior go, "Oh, he's alive. I'm going to join you guys and stop him." And the episode, even though the episode has the ending twist that Chucky transferred his soul into the Tommy doll or just moved it, it's kind of a lame twist because I knew that's what was going to happen. But I did like the fact that you get Lexi's mom on stage and she is booed by everybody because everybody's like, all these murders are going on and like you're a part of it, you're the reason for it. But then you see there's a principal that apparently is behind the curtain, and like the curtain's about to move out, and then the principal's head, who I haven't seen the principal before, but I guess in the show, like the principal wasn't really shown in the show so far from what I remember. But the principal's head rolls out of the stage and just onto the stage and is decapitated by Chucky in the back. So then you realize, or then Jake, Devin, and Lexi realize that Chucky is still there. Like he's still alive, even though they destroyed the other doll that was burnt. So now they know about Chucky transferring his soul at least. But again, it just felt like the twist at the end was the lamest one out of like the lamest ending out of all of them. Like I felt like that was such an easy like ending, and I feel like I understand that like 8 episodes, it's hard to make every single one of them like a big surprise because this one didn't feel like a surprise to me because I knew that twist. Um, and so overall, like I thought the episode was good. I did like things about it. I did like seeing Tiffany and Nika again. I did like the character development of all the kids, but the weird stuff with like the mom getting or Lexa Doig Bree getting stage 4 cancer as a secret reveal, and then Chucky transferring his soul into the Tommy doll. Just it was so obvious. It was like it made it the weakest episode for me, but it's still good. It's just not anything that's super special in that way. But I'm still excited for the rest of the series. Like I've got 3 more episodes now coming out the next 3 weeks, so I'm excited. But this one just kind of was whatever kind of episode. Like it wasn't anything super special, but it was fine. Like things about it, like I said, but I can't wait for the next episode. Maybe I like it a little more. But that's it for today. What did you guys think of Chucky episode 5, Little Little Lies? Tell me down below, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.